Hello and welcome to Peak Radar Live. I'm your host, Angela Seals with the Cultural Office of the Pikes Peak region. Tonight we are covering First Friday of September 4th, and we have such special projects to share with you tonight. I cannot wait for the show. Thank you for tuning in. If you're watching live on YouTube or Facebook, please remember that you can interact with me and the guests by commenting on this video, and I hope that you will and react and let us know what you think. If you're listening later on our podcast, Peak Radar Live later, thanks so much for tuning in. Our first guest tonight is Chris Chavez. I'm going to bring Chris in with me now. Hi, Chris.
Hi, guys.
How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing, Angela?
Welcome to the show. You're here on a very special night. Not only is it First Friday, but you are premiering a new book.
I am, yes. This one. Oh, it's that one.
One of those, all of those are by you, and I'm so excited for you. A lot of people in the arts community and a lot of fans of arts in Colorado Springs know your work, but what an exciting new project. Will you tell us a little bit about it?
Sure, yes. My new book is about a 12-year-old girl that's stranded on a deserted island, and she's spending most of the book trying to get off that island. And yeah, there's malfunctioning spaceships and territorial psychics and wild animals to overcome, that sort of thing.
Well, that sounds almost like all of us right now, kind of on an island and trying to figure out our way off of it.
Right.
Like a feeling that we all have. And anyone who knows your work knows there's always an element of the fantastical. Can you tell us a little bit about the aliens and the spaceships and the hot air balloons and how that all is part of the book too?
Oh, sure. Let me think now. Let's see. So our girl Alex, who's the star of this book, is after she crash lands in her hot air balloon, she really pretty much has nothing with her except for a number 2 pencil, which she has to use along with her wits to get off this island. And she meets all sorts of weird things on this island, like robots and bears that are being taken over by psychics and spaceships that can talk.
Oh my gosh. Well, we have here a video of the book being read by a familiar voice. This sounds like it might be Lisa.
Yeah, that's my wife, Lisa.
Yeah, wonderful. So let me just play this for our viewers now.
But that's not what happened. A gust of wind.
Oops.
Is what happened. The wind knocked her to the bottom of the basket, sweeping the hot air balloon away. The gust turned into a gale. When Alex regained her footing, her parents and their life raft were just a dot on the horizon. All she could do was hang on while the quickly shifting weather knocked the balloon around. The sky erupted with heavy rain. The hot air balloon was carried off above tall, angry waves. Cold rain pelted her. She began to shiver. Returning to her spot at the bottom of the basket, Alex waited. She waited for something worse to happen.
Wow, that's so dramatic. So that's the crash that lands Alex.
Well, Lisa reads it really well.
She does. She's got a wonderful voice for that kind of audio storytelling. So that's the moment when Alex crashes. So our viewers will notice, as I did, Chris, that doesn't look like your normal medium. Will you tell us a little bit about the departure for you into 3D CG imagery?
Oh, yeah, please. For about 2 years now, I've been planning and making a video game, and I've got a couple more years to go. It's obviously called Message in a Bottle, and it's about exactly what the story is about in this book. But this story represents one possible ending. It's going to be a multiple ending sort of thing.
Oh, I see. So the book is kind of a narrative lead-in to a future video game.
Absolutely, yeah. It'll come out in 2022.
Oh my gosh! Well, congratulations on all of it. That really is the way I've heard from other friends who've published novels or done other work, especially for young audiences. And I don't know if you consider this to be for young audiences. But
Definitely, yes.
Okay, that you really want to think that way. You want to think, what's the graphic novel? What's the normal novel? What's the video game? What's the video that comes out of it? Because everything really needs to be on multiple platforms now. So I see that you're doing that too. Was that a stretch for you?
No, not really. When I was a teenager, I dabbled with 3D CG, and I eventually learned I needed to draw before I could actually get into it because I really sucked. But nowadays, now that I've got the skill set, I'm actually pretty good at it.
I'll say, and it still does retain, even though it's a different medium for you, I think it still retains a lot of elements of your work that people really like. We talked about the fantastical sense, but there's also just kind of this almost this distancing and this kind of illustrative transcendence that your work, formality almost, that your work always has, that I think we can still recognize that it's Chris Chavez.
Yeah, well, that's a big compliment. Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about tonight, because you're having there at Chavez Art Gallery, you're having an opening tonight from 4 to 8 p.m. Tell us what people can experience there tonight.
So we had a lot of artwork on display. We're actually virtual right now, so we're not allowing anyone in. So we had a virtual crowd on Facebook, and we'll have another little announcement later on. So I was doing a book signing a little while ago. So I signed a whole bunch of books, and the people who signed up for the pre-orders and the signings tonight, they got into a little drawing for 2 extra books. So these are 2 more of my books that I've made recently and over the last few years. And so someone's going to get 2 more books in their package tonight.
Oh, that's so much fun. I'm sorry that I was wrong there. You are having a virtual celebration tonight for the book.
Oh, no.
We have a question from a viewer online, Andy Vick, who some of us may recognize.
Hi, Andy.
He's wondering, is your book self-published? Can you tell us?
It is totally self-published. Yeah, completely self-published.
Yeah, and the video game too, all of this, you're just finding your way to put your work out in the world?
Yeah, nowadays you don't actually have, if you want to publish a book or a video game or quite a lot of media, you don't need a publisher nowadays. You can self-publish. Nowadays, even the video game we're working on, maybe 15 years ago would have been unheard of to make your own video game and get it published. But there's so many video game builders, and all you need is really some artistic ability, and you can learn to program in just a few months.
It's amazing, isn't it, how democratic a lot of that has become, and those gatekeepers like publishers who used to decide what we all got to read.
Right.
Now we can read a book by a local artist like you and really enjoy that and play your video game. I think it's exciting.
Me too. Thank you.
So for those viewers who haven't been to Chavez Art Gallery or maybe haven't experienced your work beyond the book, can you just give us a little bit of a sense of Chavez Art Gallery and its beautiful little spot there in Old Colorado City?
Absolutely. We're surrealists, so our work is very fanciful. There's likely to be cats wearing hats that have birds inside them, or portraits of birds that are like just menacing you from a distance, or a very narrative work as well. Like, for instance, ladies with ships on their heads, that sort of thing.
Yeah, your work does make a person want to kind of fill in the blanks of what's happening in that image, what happened right before, what happened right after.
Right.
That robot is crying, or
yeah, what just happened?
Yeah, absolutely. So, that narrative thread makes perfect sense that you would launch into literature. Congratulations on the
Thank you very much.
So we encourage everyone to visit chavezartgallery.com to learn more about Chris's full body of work, the work of Lisa Chavez as well, and about the new book, Message in a Bottle, which debuts tonight. It sounds like you can also enjoy a lot of fun activities until 8 p.m. on Chavez Art Gallery's Facebook page. Thanks so much for joining us, Chris. Have a wonderful time
Thank you,
tonight.
Angela.
And again, congratulations.
Thank you.
Tonight's First Friday is a mix, just like we were talking about there, a mix of digital and in-person events all up and down the creative corridor and also beyond. And that's one of the fun things about virtual First Friday is that it has begun to include galleries all over Colorado Springs, Old Colorado City, and Manitou Springs. I encourage you to visit peakradar.com for event details on everything we're going to discuss tonight and all the time. And specifically to hop on peakradar.com/virtual First Friday for the full lineup of in-person and virtual events happening tonight. Now we have a special segment. Our On the Street correspondent, Jennifer DeDominici, is with us tonight. Hi, Jennifer.
Hi, Angela.
Hi. So Jennifer is our On the Street correspondent, and she's definitely on the street tonight and maybe underneath one. Tell us about where you are.
That's right. I am on the southwest corner of the I-25 underpass on Colorado Ave, where we have an example of some of that artwork you were just talking about, where you can experience it in person. This is the Conejo Mural Project. And I have with me today Claire Swinford, who is the Director of Urban Engagement for the Downtown Partnership.
Hi, nice to be with you.
Thanks for being here. I get to ask her all the questions I actually want to know. So I hope some of you are interested in these questions too. So Claire, how were you involved in the creation of this project or happening here in our city?
Well, I'm very lucky to be the Director of Urban Engagement for Downtown Partnership. So all of the public art activations happening downtown fall under my purview. And it just so happens that we received some funding last year from the Downtown Development Authority to start to enhance some of the points of entry into our downtown. So really give people a sense of our unique neighborhood identity and a sense of arrival, that this is a neighborhood that is truly something special. And they said public art is the tool we want to use. We're also going to do, lighting and signage, but you can tell that this is a very busy underpass.
That's
and
right.
Without these enhancements, it's not a very friendly place to be. So this was the place we knew we wanted to start. And we really wanted to do something big to give people a sense of just how special this community is and how well we should be treating our public spaces.
And how special that the community you've chosen right here, which is obviously pretty urban, this project is based on another community, a historical community here from Colorado Springs. Can you tell us more about the Conejos neighborhood?
So we are standing just north of where the Conejos neighborhood used to be. So where America the Beautiful Park is today, back in the 1920s and 30s, even up into the late 60s and 70s, was this thriving multicultural neighborhood filled with a lot of working class folks. A lot of the men of the families worked on the railroad. A lot of the women worked in town. But it was one of our city's most diverse neighborhoods at the time. And the Conejos neighborhood, you talk to former residents, and they say it really felt like one big family. And in fact, Una Familia Grande is the title of the exhibit at the Pioneers Museum, where you can go and find out about the Conejos neighborhoods in the words of the folks who used to live there. They've done an amazing job doing oral histories with as many of those folks as are still around. And we were very lucky that some of the former Conejos neighbors actually came out to help paint the mural with us.
That is so neat. I know there was something called the Community Paint Days.
Yes.
There was a series of these. Did you happen to partake?
Oh my goodness, yes. This artist, Mauricio Ramirez, he has done murals all over the country, but each one of his projects is characterized by the invitation he issues to the community surrounding the mural site to come help and paint the mural. You can see that he's got this very prismatic style, which really lends itself to inviting anybody who wants to come pick up a paintbrush and get some color on the wall can come and do that. So we had tiny kids as young as 2. We had grandmas and grandpas, everybody in between, coming out on designated days over the past month of August to help Mauricio bring this mural to life.
That is so cool. So special to have something that builds community and celebrates community, especially in this time when a lot of us are really craving community.
Absolutely. And this mural is definitely intended to foster that sense of community, both past and present. You can see on the north wall, all of the images are in black and white to symbolize the past of the Conejos neighborhood. And on the south wall, everything is in living color. And that is meant to symbolize the way that those residents and their descendants continue to influence the culture and the community of Colorado Springs today and into the future.
So how would community members know what they needed to do without interrupting the artist's mission?
You can see on the wall that he's got all of his line work laid out in this yellow paint. And so it literally was like paint by numbers. He had numbers scrawled on the wall. He had numbers written on the top of the paint cans. So as the facilitator, I was able to say to, someone who just walks up and say, hey, you want to go paint number 24? Here's your bucket. Here's your brush. Go down to the wall where the wall says number 24 and go to it. So we had folks of all ages, all abilities, intellectual differences. It was really something that was accessible to everyone, and it was so cool to see.
So cool. We had the privilege of watching Mauricio Ramirez in action the other day, and he was so gracious. He was even moving for us. Like, while he was doing magnificent art, he was making way for us to come by and practice. Just seems like a wonderful man.
He is an incredible spirit. We are so lucky to finally have now 3 Mauricio Ramirez murals in Colorado Springs. Last year, with Art on the Streets, our temporary public art exhibit, he executed the mural Fire in My Soul over at Penrose Library, and that actually won the $10,000 Juror Award for the exhibit that year. And so what we knew when it came time to solicit proposals for this project, that he was one of the folks we wanted to talk to. We issued a nationwide request for qualifications. He was one of the ones who responded. So we paid him and a couple other artists a small stipend to develop ideas for this. And our jurors and the folks at the Pioneers Museum were just blown away by his concept. And we were so thrilled that the El Pomar Foundation came on to sponsor it, as did the Cultural Office. We just really had the might of the community behind us with this project, and Mauricio did a fantastic job executing for us.
Well, thank you so much for being here today. Thank you so much for being such a big part of letting this be part of our community now. And thank you to you, Angela, for letting me be here and experience this firsthand.
We have a question from a viewer. Jonathan asks, how large is the mural? It looks like maybe one of the biggest in the area.
So one of our viewers asked,
yes,
how big is the mural? It looks to be one of the biggest in the area. 320 square feet, is that correct?
320 linear feet. So each of these walls, each of his canvases here is about 180 feet long. And you can see that we're rising to a height of 30 feet on this south side. So if you talk square footage, it probably is the biggest, if not one of the biggest murals in Colorado Springs.
So fun.
Oh, thank you so much for answering that. And thank you both, Claire Swinford, and also our Live on the Street correspondent, Jennifer DeDominici.
Thank you, Angela.
Thanks, Angela.
Tonight is Virtual First Friday, and so everyone is going back and forth past that mural tonight on Colorado Avenue, which is our creative corridor in the Pikes Peak region, connecting downtown Colorado Springs with Old Colorado City and Manitou Springs, where many art openings are happening tonight. We're going to learn a little bit here for just a moment about Sola Gallery, which is a special project inside of Kreuzer Gallery, a popular downtown Colorado Springs creative district spot.
Good evening, everyone. Happy First Friday. I'm excited to share with you SOLA. The SOLA Gallery stands for Supporting Our Local Arts. We are an online gallery whose purpose is to promote and support the arts in the Pikes Peak region. We believe every business should have a purpose. For the SOLA Gallery, a portion of every sale is used to establish a fund to support local arts and artists in fulfilling their original ideas and enriching our community. SOLA currently consists of over 30 local artists, and we will continue to add artists weekly. Please take a look at the gallery, enjoy the wonderful art, read about the amazing artists, and sign up for our newsletter to keep up to date when new artists and artwork is added. We greatly appreciate your time and hope you enjoy this virtual First Friday. Have a wonderful night.
So Sola Gallery is a great way to support local artists, and so is First Friday. Whether you're there in person or virtually tonight, you can find all of the event details on peakradar.com/virtual First Friday. Now we're going to hop over to Bridge Gallery, which is the site of an in-person opening tonight that's really very exciting. Hello. Hello, everyone at Bridge.
How are you?
Hi, good to see you. Tell us what's going on there tonight.
Hello.
We know you have an exciting opening tonight.
Well, we have a very exciting opening, and it's Liz McCombs, and it's her whole world is in this little room, I think, and they're very exciting pieces.
Well, thank you so much for having us. Michael, tell us, Bridge Gallery is such a special location. For those of you who haven't been, it's located under the Colorado Avenue Bridge in a really beautiful set of 3 galleries that all collaborate together. But the Bridge Gallery has been in existence for 26 years. Congratulations on that. That's not easy to do, Michael.
No, it isn't.
So for people who haven't visited, would you please tell them a little bit about Bridge Gallery and what's special about it?
Well, the Bridge Gallery is a place that we sort of go around and hand pick certain artists and try to give them a show. Some people have had a show, some people have not had shows, some people are pretty professional artists and some aren't. So we try to get a nice broad base of different kinds of work in here. All of it, I think, is very high quality stuff.
Well, tonight is certainly no exception. Tonight, Bridge Gallery debuts a gorgeous exhibit called Garden of Secrets by Liz McCombs. And I understand we have the artist there with you tonight to chat with us. Thank you, Michael. And hi, Liz. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing great. Thanks for asking.
How's the night feel? You've got an incredible big solo show opening. How are you feeling?
Fantastic. It's so amazing to see everything up and in one space and not just in the studio.
Yeah. So you've shared some gorgeous imagery with us of the exhibit. So I would love for you to tell us about Garden of Secrets. And while you do that, I will share with the viewers at home some of these gorgeous images, and then you can show us the gallery after that. Okay. So why Garden of Secrets?
Well, Garden of Secrets, it kind of combines my love of nature and my passion for making artwork. And everything in the show, I think, is about adaptation and transition and change, something that I think we're all too familiar with this year, but something that nature just excels at. The transition of one thing into something else and nothing ever really being finished, just changing from something into something else, and you're never really sure what that new thing might be. It's the start of a new journey. So everything kind of encompasses that idea in one way or another, each piece kind of telling its own story, but also, falling under that kind of overarching idea of the change and transition and adaptation. So that's kind of the theme for the show tonight.
Raise it so that nobody can be seen back here. Maybe we can whistle.
Liz, can you tell us a little bit about the materials that you're using in these sculptures? They look so magical. It's almost hard to imagine how you made them.
Well, yes, they do. It is hard to tell what they're initially made from, because I do, I am a mixed media artist and I do work with a little bit of everything, but most of them actually do start out with ceramic and then found objects, wood, wire, metal, anything that seems like it's gonna be the right thing for the piece. So.
Fantastic. Would you maybe just turn the camera a bit so we can see what it looks like there tonight at Bridge Gallery?
Yeah, could we do a little pan around the gallery maybe so you guys can get a look at the show in its entirety?
We would love that. Give us a tour.
Let's do that.
Hi, Michael.
How can I flip this? Okay, let's go. Let's walk with this.
Do you want to go this way?
Here we go.
So you can start to see we have pieces of all sizes, small pieces, large pieces, a little bit of something for everybody. And I do certainly encourage people, to touch things when they come into the gallery, which I know is a no-no some places, but we encourage that here. Everything is so tactile that it's hard to resist. So we're going to sit around here.
What inspired you? You've talked about kind of the larger metaphor of unexpected things coming from seeds and the cycle of nature. What are your sources of inspiration? Some of these images are just so incredibly powerful, almost mythological. Where do you draw your influences, Liz?
Well, I certainly love to read, and so literature, current and also just kind of historical and mythological, fables have influenced all of the things that I do make. And also, actually, a lot of, my inspiration comes from dreams, or just kind of working out in the garden. Like I said, I'm an avid gardener, so, a lot of these come directly from kind of experience in my life, but some of it just kind of comes out when I'm working. You're not always sure what you're gonna make, and I like to leave room for what I call the happy accidents. So I kind of start with one thing in mind and allow the piece to sort of evolve as I make it.
Well, thank you so much for this tour. There really is no comparison with seeing something right there on the wall. The beautiful shadows and lighting that the Bridge Gallery has in the way things are installed in the gallery space there. It's really just almost like an installation. It seems like it would just envelop you in this whole world.
It is, and that was the idea behind the show, was that when you walked into this space, you would feel like you were transported to a new kind of location, this Garden of Secrets here.
Well, we have viewers who are watching tonight who are exclaiming over how awesome and incredible and gorgeous these pieces are. Thank you so much for showing them to us. If I could have you both on camera again, I'd love just to say goodbye and make sure people know how they can see the show if they'd like to see it in person. Michael, maybe you could tell us about your hours right now and how people could come and see the exhibit.
Right now, we're open on Saturdays from noon till 3, and you have to wear a mask, and we only limit it to 4 or 5 people at a time.
Okay. Well, very good. Thank you again both so much. And Liz, congratulations. What an extraordinary body of work. And we're so honored to get to highlight it on Peak Radar Live tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care and have a wonderful first Friday. This first Friday, September 4th, is also the eve of Labor Day weekend. And normally in the arts community of the Pikes Peak region, that would mean the Commonweal Arts Festival, which has been a highlight in Manitou Springs for many, many years. This year, the Commonweal Art Festival is happening, but with a little bit different twist. It is a virtual arts festival. I have a video that they have offered Peak Radar Live to show you what it's going to be like. And for those of you who are listening on our podcast, I'm going to do my best attempt to do the audio of this commercial because it's completely silent, and a lot of the important description of virtual Commonweal Arts Festival is in text. So I'll do my best to portray that for all of you. This weekend's Commonweal Arts Festival for 2020. Due to COVID-19, the festival is now virtual. Most art festivals have been canceled. Some artists have lost up to 80% of their income. To support our artists and continue the tradition, this year we're virtual. For 9 days beginning Labor Day weekend, we're hosting an online-only festival. Here you can see the almost game-like interface of the website where you can visit the different tents of artists. Each one has the work they have for sale and a bio about their body of work. Even artist videos, like this one here of Phyllis Cahill. Your purchase, you're going to purchase directly from each artist right there online. You can shop safely from home. We'll have pottery by Oh Happy Clay, bags by St. Clair Designs, digital art by Eclectic Designs, prints by Rocky, scarves by John Venezia, and so much more. Your purchases will be shipped directly to you. Watch behind-the-scenes videos of artist studios and demos. Here's a touch of glass lampworking demo. St. Clair Designs will give us a studio tour. There will be contests with wonderful prize drawing. For example, a night at Keith Lee Pine's Cabins, a painting by Ben Byers, a wine tasting at Divine Wine, earrings by White Super Jewelers, treats from Gold Miners Candy. Bring beauty into your life by supporting artists. Our virtual artist festival will only last 9 days, September 5th through the 13th. Put it on your calendar now. commonweal.com/virtual-festival. Well, they're right. Art is a great way to bring beauty into your life, and buying local art from local artists is a great way to support our community. Artists live and work around us every day, and they have a huge economic impact in our region. That's why I'm so glad that you care about First Friday, because every month, First Friday is an incredible infusion of support to our local artists and the galleries that represent them, and also performers and all the other fun things that happen out on the street. You'll find all the details about tonight's happenings at peakradar.com/virtual First Friday. I do hope you'll hop on the site, check out what's going on, and buy some local art sometime soon to support your community, even if it's from the Commonweal Virtual Arts Festival. Thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks to my guests tonight, Chris Chavez from Chavez Art Gallery, Claire Swinford from the Downtown Partnership, and special thanks to Mauricio Ramirez for the creation with the community of the Conejos Community Mural. What an inspiring project. And of course, Liz McCombs and the Bridge Art Gallery and that just almost otherworldly exhibit that they're hosting there under the Colorado Avenue Bridge. Our arts community is so full of surprises, and I love exploring them with you on Peak Radar Live.